Welcome back to Story Mode. There's nothing like playing your favourite video game, but sometimes it can become an obsession in more ways than one. Welcome to 2002, a year that I don't remember much music, but I do remember this. So everybody, just follow me, 'cause we need a little controversy. Eminem's The Eminem Show was the biggest selling album of the year, selling 7.6 million copies. Ben Affleck was People's Sexiest Man Alive. Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake officially broke up. Halle Berry became the first black actress to win the Academy Award for Best Actress.
Oh my God.
Michael Jackson caused international controversy as he dangled Prince Michael II off the balcony of his hotel room in Berlin. And one of the most popular songs of 2002, Nickelback's How You Remind Me. He reminds me of a paddle pop lion. And while the must-have toys were Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Everybody's still playing The Sims. Apple releases its second generation of iPod, which holds a whopping 20 gigabyte of storage. Kelly Clarkson won the first season of American Idol, and finally, the Sanyo SCP-5300 became the world's first phone to have a built-in camera. It's 2002 and there's three consoles on the market: Nintendo GameCube, Microsoft Xbox and Sony PlayStation 2. Unfortunately, the Dreamcast started to fade away at this point, but that didn't stop me. I lived on my Dreamcast. Because I was so hardcore into video games again with collecting and playing, I needed to find a supplier to buy in bulk so I could get my games cheaper and then also sell games and make a little bit of money to buy more games. I left my work at the time and had to do something. So I said to Mandy, I think I'm going to start selling games from home once again. She was in full support of it. So I started calling around companies that I used to deal with back in my shop days. And as you can imagine, most of them are gone. So I had to find new suppliers. I found so many suppliers now in America that would ship international, so ship to me. And I mainly buy stuff like PlayStation 2 and GameCube. Xbox wasn't really popular at the start, not in Australia anyway, and especially not imported games. I would always focus on games that are not available in Australia. And like before, I would put an ad in the local paper. And within a couple of days, presto, people wanted to buy imported games. And as I said, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and a couple of Xbox games that didn't come out here. The customer base started to form, and I was making a little bit of money. Not enough to live on, but I was getting there. There were times I'd just sit around the house and play games all day, and a customer would come over and pick up a game. And then the next day it'd happen again. I'd only get like one, maybe two customers a day. And sometimes you go a full week without any customers. So I called up my friend John, who didn't have a job at the time. I said, come over, let's hang out like a couple of bums at my house. I'm waiting for customers to come and just come and keep me company. We might play a couple of games. He was over straight away. When he came over, he wanted to know what we were going to do. I said, I've got an idea. I'm waiting for customers, I've got nothing to do with it. Why don't we finish Gran Turismo 3? Like everything. All licenses, gold trophies. All races, gold trophies. We'll do the 12-hour racing, we'll do everything. Now this is the Japanese version of Gran Turismo 3. Now, that's the version I grew up with. But I remember John eagerly smiling and say, let's do it. We played it every single day and we'd take turns. So while we're doing the licenses, if I failed, then it's his turn. Or if I passed, I still pass the controller on to him. And same with races. He'd do a lap, hand over the controller. It was like, it was like real racing. It was so much fun. It's one of my most treasured memories. And sometimes I'd have a customer that would pop over to pick up a game and John would serve him if I was racing, or I'd serve them, and good times. And I remember John and I will cook our own lunch and then we'd go and watch a bit of Maury.
Why? You don't want...
There is the man that denies my son. And after today, I hope you learn how to be a man and stand up for your rights. I didn't come here for nothing. I came here to get this over and done with.
And then when Mandy got home, I'd have dinner prepared for her because she was the breadwinner at the time. And John would come over every single day, and within a few weeks, we had Gran Turismo 95% complete. Then one day, John come over, and because I've got the Japanese version, John thought he was loading up the save data. But instead, switching on the PlayStation 2, he saved the game data, meaning he saved it new, fresh, meaning we lost that save and we had to start again. I was devastated. I was a little bit angry, but I got over it because John stood up, he said, sorry man, I'm gonna be here every day, let's do it again. And you know what, it was fun, so who cares? Within a few weeks, we did it. We finished Gran Turismo 100%. I got all the cars I've ever wanted in my garage and I've still got that save data today. And well, what did we do after that? We just played different games, but nothing really beat Gran Turismo 3 on the PlayStation 2 for me. Oh, don't worry, once I finished with GT3, I moved on to other games on the PS2, such as Grand Theft Auto Vice City. A game I put way too much time into, whether it's doing missions or literally listening to the music.
So much better.
Another PS2 game I lived on was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. One of my favourite Need for Speeds in the whole franchise and a game I still play to this very day. Now when I wasn't playing the PlayStation 2, I was playing the Nintendo GameCube, and boy, did it have some amazing games and exclusive games like Resident Evil 0.
With those soldiers outside.
Oh, I see.
I don't think I've ever had so much fun in a fighting game across 3 platforms. That's right, Soul Calibur 2 was across 3 platforms, all with unique features. In the Nintendo GameCube, it had Link. This later on would send a trend to have extra characters in future games. But Soul Calibur didn't stop at the characters, it had everything. Gameplay, graphics, and most of all, the music.
Battle 1, fight!
Now, if anything was going to get me to love the GameCube anymore, it was one game. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Battle of Endor. This game is by far my favourite Star Wars game of all time. Another game I spent way too much time on, all to get those gold medals.
Watch out, interceptors coming in. Accelerate to attack speed.
So what about the Xbox, the original Xbox? Well, I have to be honest, I was not a fan. I was a PlayStation 2 fan, and even that took time to adjust from the Sega Saturn to the Sony PlayStation. But this, I had no interest. It was too big, the controller was weird, and the games, well, I wasn't fond of them. Until one day, I put on Halo.
Slayer.
I cannot believe I had Halo and an Xbox just sitting there, not touching the game because of other games like Gran Turismo. And I'm not blaming them, I'm blaming myself. Microsoft had me at Halo. This game alone single-handedly made me love the system and love Xbox. I now had to manage 3 consoles at the time, and Xbox was starting to climb very, very fast. And well, what about Gran Turismo 3 now that it's finished and 100% complete? Well, that took me off in another direction. John and I loved our cars, especially Japanese cars, and Gran Turismo was this big commercial for Japanese cars. It was like a big tease.
Gran Turismo 3 プレイステーション2からプレイステーション
If I was ever going to own a car like an R34 GTR, or dare I dream a Honda NSX, I was going to have to work a lot harder. A lot harder.